Standlea, the CEO of Test Prep Gurus, and today I want to discuss 5 ways that any student can prep for the SAT or the ACT completely for free. Number 1, become familiar with the content that's on the SAT or the ACT. There's a lot of talk about tips and tricks and secret moves to make. This stuff is fun, this stuff is exciting, and it's going to achieve a little bump in your scores at the end of the day. We want to drill into the specific skills that are assessed on the SAT and the ACT. Are you struggling with verb-noun agreement? Are you having trouble with ratio problems, trigonometry? Whatever those skills are, we want to dig in, help you improve on those particular skills, understand how those questions work and function, what they're trying to assess, and then how to outsmart those questions. Once we do that, your score is going to go up. Now, tips and tricks, do we teach them? Of course we do. And again, students like them, they're fun, but it's mastering the content that's really going to drive that big score increase, that's really then going to in turn help you demonstrate to those colleges what you're really capable of on these exams. Number 2, read for pleasure. There's really no downside to this one, and you can do it at any age whatsoever. It's good for your brain, it's going to help you in school, and when you eventually get there, when you need to do a little prep for the SAT and the ACT, you'll be better prepared to take advantage of that preparation. When you prepare for the critical reading section, ultimately you're trying to achieve 2 things. You want to read at a quicker pace and for a higher level of retention. Students who have read a lot over the last few years, or hopefully their entire lives, they're better prepared to learn those skills, and this leads to bigger score improvements and higher scores overall. Number 3, choose the SAT or the ACT and then stick with that exam. Every college in the country is going to accept an SAT or an ACT. They do not require both. They do not need both. They do not want both. And there's a good reason for this. It's in their self-interest to compute you as an admit in the best way possible. So if you send them an SAT and an ACT, they're only going to use the higher score anyway. So it behooves every single student to just figure out which one am I naturally a little bit better at and then run with that exam. Number 4, turn your anxiety into excitement. Oftentimes when students are feeling anxious, the immediate response of their peers, of parents, whoever else is around is to say, calm down. This does not work. I don't think I've ever heard of a situation where a student said, oh, calm down, why didn't I think of that? Gosh, this is better. There's some great research that came out of Harvard recently that shows that it's much easier to move from a state of anxiety to excitement rather than to a state of calm. Before you're going to enter into that pressure situation, before you're going to take that SAT, that ACT, and by the way, this also works for AP exams or the big varsity soccer game, whatever that pressure situation is, take 5 minutes, write freehand, and just concentrate on all the things that might go well as a result of doing well in this situation. And I want you to start the paper with, I am excited. And then you just keep coming with all the reasons you are excited to enter into this pressure situation. Students feel better about the process, they feel empowered, they feel more in control of it, and it leads to a little score bump, and it didn't cost them anything except a little investment of time. Number 5, this is it, we're at the end. Plan early. Do you need to start prepping 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade? No, absolutely not. Don't do that. What I would like to see you do is after the end of your sophomore year, take a full-length mock ACT. You probably already took a PSAT during your sophomore year, but if you didn't, you're also going to take a full-length mock SAT. We have 2 scores. We can go back to tip number 1, figure out which test you're a little bit better at, and then we can put together a plan. Whether that's with a college counselor, with your parents, with a teacher you trust, or somebody like us, you want to get that plan in place, look at your long-term goals, what schools might you be interested in, what are the possible scores you might need to be competitive at those schools. Just start having those conversations. Let's get a recap of those 5. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm Nick, Test Prep Gurus. Plenty of things to click on here if you want to explore further, learn more about us, learn more about test prep, how all this stuff works. I look forward to next time. Click right there. Go ahead, try it. Feels good.